everyone, it is Danielle Marie from the One Realty here in Austin, Texas. I'm here to give you your weekly update on what is happening in the Austin real estate market. So we talked about the numbers on the 13th last week from the 12th. Today we're going to talk about where yesterday's numbers were. Why do we do Wednesday's numbers? Typically all of the pendings have kind of hit from the weekend have hit. And then it's before all of the new listings come out. So new listings typically start coming out, some on Wednesday night, but majority of them really start hitting the market on Thursday and Friday. So if you're actually looking to buy a house, pay attention to Thursday and Friday, especially in the market, as you may see new listings arrive. So with that, like I said, my name is Danielle Marie Fountain. I am here at the One Realty down in the heart of Austin, where we take a data-driven all-in-one approach to real estate. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up my, I say, handy dandy Excel sheet. We're going to talk a little bit of stats, and we're going to see where we are this week comparatively. So here we go. First and foremost, you'll see up front too, we have seen an increase in our active listings. So it's not a huge jump. I know that you're seeing some places are talking about like active listings just soaring in some places. For us, we went up by 44 listings from last week. So last week we were at 1990. This week we're a little over 2034. With that being said, we didn't really see a big price change in regards to our average or our median price. You can see, yeah, it's about 4,000, but in the grand scheme of things at 1.2 million, not a big change. The median, very small going up. We have continued to see a trend of our days on market going down. Now, I keep like flashing that out to people because that's one of the sensors of the leading indicator of like, hey, the market is getting stronger. Is it getting weaker? When we see days on market going up, we'll typically see the market's going to kind of be a little bit weaker. When we see days on market going down, meaning houses are moving faster, then that also indicates the market's kind of getting a little stronger. So here we are, we're seeing the days on market. We've dropped down. The fact that our median dropped down 13, that's huge. Granted, it's probably we have a lot of new listings, but that also means that we're getting some older listings are kind of moving through the cycle and moving out. So as well, one of the other indicators that we really like to track is what is the number of listings with a price reduction. So this kind of tells us is how much are sellers trying to move their property quickly, or how long have the property's been sitting on the market and you're kind of forced, that people are being forced to do a price reduction. With that being said, we've continued to go down. We went down by over 1% this week. We're below that 45% mark. Interesting stat. If you follow me on X, which if you look for me on X, I'm at the_one_realty. That's me that you can find me on X. If you find me on X, I actually posted about the luxury market this past week. And interesting enough, I did not expect this, but the luxury market, so over 2 million, the number of listings with a price reduction was in like I think it was like 36 or 37%. So it was below all of Austin. So the luxury listings, they aren't dropping their prices as much as they were, like I say, 4 or 5 months ago. With that being said, so we're seeing, hey, we're under 45% of the listings have a price reduction. Across the country, you're typically between like a 30 and 40%. So we're still a little bit high, but that's normal for Austin. We've been that way for the past couple of years, that we've been higher than the rest of the country. When we go into understanding how many active listings, we also like to look at, what are the new listings that are coming to market. So as you can see right here, we had 231 new listings come to the market. However, 31 of them were actually old listings that just kind of came back on. So if a listing was taken off market, whether it was pending or the seller put it on hold, and it hasn't been 90 days since it was taken off market, you're going to see it, and I'm going to see the counter. Now, is there more than the 31? Absolutely. But they've been off for longer than 90 days, so it's counted as fresh inventory. And you can see right here, our average price and our median price. Yeah, they changed some, but that's also probably why this didn't change much, because of these prices. Yes, there's some here. One went up, one went down, kind of negating each other a little bit too of the different properties. So with that being said, this is for all of the active listings, single family homes in Austin, Texas. Now, I also want you to know is I'm talking about the city of Austin. A lot of times you'll see data across, and I say they're like doomer headlines, and they're saying Austin's metro and this and that and the oversupply of inventory and everything like that. What you have to understand is that in Austin, the Austin metro is like an hour and a half up and like an hour and a half south in all the different directions. And Austin itself is such a small city in comparison that if you go an hour out, with the stats are going to be completely different. So looking at the stats of overall Austin isn't really going to do you much good if you want to understand the market of Austin. So go ahead and follow me, subscribe to my channel, and then that way you can kind of see, hey, what are the updates, what's actually happening in the city of Austin versus these news and national headlines that we're seeing. Okay, so with that being said, also feel free to save this and share this so other people can find it. Let's hop into our pending listings data. Okay, so for pending listings right here, we saw 10 more listings go pending as far as our net. Remember, some closed out, some also probably fell out of contract. So not a huge swing. Our weekly pending did fall by 20 in comparison to last week. So last week we were at 184 houses went pending that were new. This week it was only 164. So it was kind of a bigger drop off. If we look at our pending sheet, you can kind of see where we are. 164. The last 2 weeks they beat us, but it was still, I mean, it's still a relatively strong week. But what I also want to keep in mind is it was Valentine's Day, it was President's Day weekend. People might have been out of town. I know a lot of people did travel for those weekends. So it's a big travel weekend, which also kind of affects the real estate market. Plus, it's been kind of cold in Austin. So just keep that in the back of your mind. That's also why I kind of keep track of what's going on. We can also see our rates were below 7%. And actually today, I just saw it that on Mortgage News Dailies that we are back below 7% again. So that's really going to be interesting to see next week with a non-holiday weekend and below 7% back-to-back weekends, what's happening. That being said, our pending, yes, we went slightly down in regards to the number of new pendings, but overall it was up. Also, we saw our average price point kind of jump up a little bit by 20,000. Median, not really big change. Not really a big change for our days on market. We did see a continuation of the number of houses with the price reduction that continued to fall. So if you see last week, we're at 46 for our 46% for both our for sale and pending. And then this week we were at 45 and 44. So what we're probably going to see is a lot of this is going to continue to go down. This might continue to go up just slightly because it's going to be eating away of these active houses. Now, I'm going to talk about closed. And this is going to be what has closed in the past 30 days in Austin. If you actually want to hear about what has closed in January and February, stay tuned because that is the next part of this. We're going to talk about where are we in Austin, Texas, as far as our closed data for the year over year and month over month. That's coming up next with that. So closed data. So right now for this past 30 days, we've closed 452 homes. It's not an impressive number. But what we are seeing is week over week, we've seen an increase in our sales price and our median price, which that's good to see, especially our median is kind of picking up here. Not surprised days on market. Remember, we have old listings that are all starting to close out. My biggest indicator is what is happening with this close price to list price. Every single time we see these percents going up, it means we're getting a stronger market. And so if you're seeing right here, you're seeing that our averages on both of these went up. Our median stayed the same, but our average is going out. And so that's typically an indicator of kind of sellers holding their negotiations a little tighter, or houses are also moving quicker than that. So with that, I promise you, we are going to head into the Austin monthly stats. So this is Austin's monthly stats. So if we want to look at what has happened since February 25, we want to see what has happened this month. So far we've had 270 homes close out here in Austin, Texas. Now you're going to see this is a difference. So this difference right here, this is all year over year. So all this data year over year is getting compared to September of 24. So all this data right here. So you're going to see that we are significantly down. And we only have, we have a little bit over a week left. Do I think that we're going to get at 609? Oh, probably not. Do I think that we'll probably be in like the mid 400s, 500s? Yes. I think it'll be surprising because I think that you'll have a lot of end of month that are going to come out that we're going to see. I know that even on my books alone, I have like 4 other houses that are pending, that are up, so that are closing out this month. So there's houses that are coming. With that being said, you're going to see our average price point. Our average price point is going up. Me too. I want to make sure that y'all are hearing me out there as I talk to. So if someone would just mention a comment, that way I can make sure y'all can hear me out there. But with that being said, our average sales price. So this is really interesting. Our month over month, I mean, a year over year, we're up 9.84% year over year for our price. That's a big increase. So 9.84% is our average sales price up for year over year. Our median is up 6.27%. Days on market, this is interesting. It's very tight here, not a big change. When it comes to close price to list price and close price to original list price, not too different. You see the kind of the average is slightly higher right here, but it's nothing that I'm like writing home about and saying, hey, this is happening. So just kind of, I say, holding still. Now, we are seeing the month over month, which is expected because February is all the sales that happened in January. January, it's always abysmal because it's people making deals in December. So you can see we're up month over month by 5.13% for our average. Our median is up at 7.82. So we are continuing to trickle up. And I'm actually talking to some sellers. And so these are some of the data points that we're also looking at, because we're looking at how are we performing month over month on pricing? And then how are we actually performing when we're talking about average sales? What is that looking like? So our average sales year over year, we're up 9.84% on these price points. And then also on our month over month. Now, keep in mind when you're looking at your house and you're pricing your house, you want to do, I say almost like a SWOT analysis, your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. What I'm seeing right now, and I just pulled for a new construction home over in 78704, we were looking at between 2,200 to 3,300 of this new construction home within a mile radius of like the Zilker neighborhoods. And there was only 2 houses that were active that were for sale. And that was really interesting because that is the threat that you have. What would a consumer buy that is outside of your house? So we want to pay attention to that, especially when pricing a home. It's not just about what is currently sold. It's also about what is pending, what is on the market that you're also competing against, and now how historically has it sold. So if you only look at data of what happened in January and December and January, well, the market it's always a little bit slower. So sometimes you got to go back a little bit further and look historically what happened the prior year. Okay. With that being said, we are going to transition into January's numbers. So these are, I say, like official January's numbers. We're the 20th of February. Typically, I'd say it's about 2 to 3 weeks until the numbers are finalized. You may have seen stuff, especially Austin Board of Realtor releases stuff. However, it includes the townhomes, apartments, or townhomes, condos, all sorts of other numbers. My numbers are strictly single family homes. So if we look at strictly single family homes, and we are going to look at January's numbers right here, you can see right here, 430. We only sold 432 homes in January. That's what's closed out. And you can see January of 24, we were under by 16 houses. So a reduction of about 3.5%, which I've been talking the whole time. I was looking at pending data. I knew it was going to be a rough January in regards to the number of houses sold. If you can see, our lowest that we ever sold in the past like 20 years was actually in 2010. 2010, we only sold 345. So good on you, Austin. We beat 2010's numbers. I don't know how much that says, but we did beat 2010's numbers at 345. Now, what you will see from Austin's numbers is that you are going to see right here, our average sales price this past year was 776. Last year it was 720. So we beat our average sales price from 2024. We beat it by over 56,000. So that's 7.83%. and then our median price. So I always like to look at, do we beat median and do we beat average? Because that's kind of an indicator of which way we're going. And we did for both of them, which is also fairly interesting because the houses hitting the market now, we don't have as many renovated and as many new construction homes as we've had in prior years because investors and builders kind of put a pause on it. When houses weren't moving, they kind of put a pause. So it's interesting that we are seeing some houses move. And I would say those that have been renovated and those that have been a new construction, they're the ones I think in the next coming year are going to be very, very interesting to watch because of supply. How much supply do we actually have? So when I was talking about that house a second ago in the Zilker area, I forgot to mention it was for houses for 2022 builds and newer because they're not out there. The builders stopped building. And I think we're going to start seeing builders come back, but it's going to be a lag of about 12 to 18 months to really get their inventory back. Okay, so with that being said, you are seeing an increase right here on the average sales and the median sales. This is the other big kicker right here, the year over year, close price to original list price and close price to list price. But this is the biggest one. This gives you an idea, like especially when you're writing an offer, close price to list price, what's happening. But close price to original list price is like how much are we swinging? And so you're going to see here, we went up by 1% essentially across the board. So stronger than 2024 is what we saw in 2025. And the other thing I'll point out is we've talked about February or December. We've been long gone for December, but I just want to kind of keep this in your mind. So we saw right now, if we look at February so far, we're up 9.8% for the average, 6.27% for the median sales price. If we go and we look at January, and we're looking at January, we're up 7.83 and 1.75. So both of them are trending upwards. Now, if we look at December was also another trend upwards. We're seeing year over year 10.8, 7.43. You're going to see the month over month. Obviously, it always goes down in January. If you follow me, we talk about that. That's because houses that go under contract in December are deals for investors typically, and then January numbers go lower. But what's that saying is that's just saying year over year, we're kind of trending, which is good for the sellers. We're trending upward. For buyers, it's hey, pay attention. Like our numbers, we haven't shot through the roof on our numbers. So when our numbers start shooting through the roof, that's when it's really going to get interesting. And I have a feeling that March is going to surprise a lot of people. And that goes back to this right here. That goes back to us seeing these pending numbers come out and seeing what's happening with our pending numbers. So as our pending numbers go up here and actually our weekly pending go up here, we're going to see the sales for the following month. So if you've been tracking along, and I pull this out, so let me back this all out so you can see more of this. Whoops. So if we're looking at, this is my data. I'll make it bigger on your screen if I go like this. This is my data. This is the total number of pending listings. And so you see we're at like 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6. We got down fairly low in the 6. And so we're seeing it's, up over 200. And so that, looking at where we are, I say up over 200 here in January. I'm saying that for end of February, I think February we're in the 400s, high 400s. I think that March we're going to end up in like the 700s at least. But stay tuned and we'll see that. So with that, my name is Danielle Marie. I'm the founder of the One Realty out here in Austin, Texas. We take a data-driven, all-in-one approach to real estate. So if you enjoy these numbers, save this so that you can come back and you can find it in the save file. Also, if you subscribe or follow me, this will help you to see this data. And this is just general overall data. I like to get really niche with my clients. We like to do macro and micro analysis of the market that we are looking to enter in, whether it's Austin, it's Lakeway, Bee Cave, Round Rock, Pflugerville. Go all over. But we like to really dive into numbers so that you are making an educated decision on your real estate purchase or sale. So if you have any questions about Austin real estate, if you're thinking about buying or selling, or actually if you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell, I would be happy to talk to them and see how I can help them. With that, have a wonderful day and stay warm out there.